Welcome to Basket Talks new episode. This is Mir Demir Demirer from Basket Talks. In this episode, we are with Nico Van Den Bogaerd. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mir. It's great to finally manage to set up our talk, which we had kind of scheduled for a while, no? But now it's convenient for the both of us to find this moment now. It's great. Now, happy to talk basketball always. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you too for joining me. And finally, we made this and we are here to talk. I'm so excited for this because it's too big for me. I mean, talking with NBA staff, and it is really exciting for me. And thanks for coming and joining.
I'm happy you're excited, but really no big deal. And we are all human beings, no, nothing special.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And I want to know something, your basketball career, your basketball history, because you are a scout for Miami Heat. Before this, I want to start with when and where did you first become interested in basketball?
That was back in my home country in Belgium. I started playing quite late, around when I was 12 years old, just going along with a friend who was already playing. Well, in the beginning, as I had almost never played before, I really started from zero. I just had to work really hard on my fundamentals, and so in the beginning I had to start earning my minutes through defense, basically, and slowly I was able to add a little bit of skill, of course. And then my life and also basketball ambition as a player kind of changed completely when I made the decision to go live in Spain, here in Barcelona, where I am now. So after that, I just continued playing in local leagues on a recreational level.
And you were already started your scouting career at that time, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when I tried to coach at some point, yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering, how do you become a basketball scout?
First of all, to be correct, I work as a basketball scouting consultant for the Miami Heat, my 9th season currently. Basically, some coincidences that I got acquainted and became friends with a few NBA scouts that taught me a lot. Everything, basically, is what is important as a scout. And big dose of luck for sure as well, that created the possibility to receive the opportunity that the Miami Heat offered me finally.
Yeah, and then I want to move on to some deep questions about basketball, because you are reaching players from Europe, right?
Yes.
Like as a young basketball players or professional basketball players, we need to show us to you for go to Miami Heat. I think it's short way. I think it isn't. No?
Not really. I don't think a player needs to present himself or anything like that. The player needs to practice and play at the best of their abilities. They just have to continue, never stop improving, I would say, and try to make the best of the decisions possible for their development as a player. And if they have real chances to play in the NBA, I think scouts will be aware. So they don't really need to worry too much about showing themselves. Well, they haven't probably agents working to help their career. Basically get better, and the career will take them where their work and their abilities takes them.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, what are the criteria of basketball scouting? I mean, how can young basketball lovers become a basketball scout?
Regarding a path towards becoming a basketball scout, I think there is not one way. I think everybody who's working in it in our profession now has found their own way towards it. Maybe there is one common denominator that I would say, however, it's just passionate basketball people.
Yeah. And as a scout, all scouts, you need to work every time, every day for reaching players, and watching matches.
Yes, of course. Well, we need to try to control the basketball landscape. Now, let's say that know the players, know where we need to watch the players that are interesting for our level, for what we are scouting for the NBA.
And as a basketball scout for Miami Heat, what qualities do you look for in a player in positions on a regular basis?
As we're talking about the NBA, there's some more obvious characteristics in terms of physicality, athleticism, basketball understanding, skill set, etc., where a certain minimum is probably required. Having said that, you always have to keep an open mind, because people are truly amazing often, and sometimes they can just overcome the biggest obstacles that are being put in front of them, and perhaps perhaps compensate in another way, no, and still be impactful. I would say there's other aspects that might be a bit more team related, more to the team culture, given more importance to than others, to be able to fit in and function within each particular team. Well, also sports, professional sports, has a huge psychological aspect, I believe, where mental toughness, strong winning mentality play a big factor too. Additionally, there's so many personal circumstances that can have an influence and impact your game in determined moments. For us as scouts, after all the work that goes into it in terms of evaluating players, it always remains very subjective, no? The perception and the reality is that nobody's able to control every aspect of life, simply, which has its beauty, I believe, in a way.
Yeah.
So you try to gain knowledge as broad as possible about a player, and you try to minimize risks, but they will always be there. So at the end, what I try to keep in mind, what I believe is important, evaluate is if a specific player will be able to, right now, immediately, or in the future, if a player is able to improve your current roster and be an asset to your team, to help you build a group that can win ball games, you know, and ultimately contribute to compete for a championship, because that should be the ultimate goal.
Yeah, thank you. And as you said, NBA is really tough league. In television, it's don't look like tough. They are playing like street ball and dunking, half court threes. They are playing like NBA 2K. We just we can do something this kind of moves only NBA 2K, but they are doing in real time. And as you said, it's mental toughness. It's good as gold, I can say. Because if you be in NBA, you can play with Jimmy Butler and LeBron James, and they're all Hall of Fame players. And
Yeah. Top level.
players. And as a player, if LeBron James or Jimmy Butler blocked me, I'm so proud of it. Because he's a top player. And I want to move on a little bit young players, because all my audience is young players from Europe. And what are your advice for young players?
Well, there's a lot of things that are important, of course. Let me think to give a bit of a useful answer to that.
Okay, we had time. I can edit it. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's a bit typical in a way, but not less truthful. I think staying humble is important as a player. It's good to have confidence, but overconfidence can become an obstacle for your growth as a player and to continue getting better. And maybe something more practical as well that I do like to put emphasis on is focus also on learning to play better without the ball, because we all like to have the ball in our hands and score and create and do whatever, but the reality is that the most of the time we don't have the ball. We're waiting for the pass and making the play spacing, whatever, and in defense you don't have the ball, so there's a lot of moments during a game that you don't have the ball. I think it's very important it's crucial to learn how to play without the ball and contribute continuously, also when you don't have it, or even when you're on the bench. Stay involved in a constructive way, help your teammates that are on the court, just make yourself useful, you know, at all times.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is one of my favorite questions, because this is like a shortcut of all interview. And in your opinion, what are the musts of basketball?
Well, I think enjoy playing, for starters. That's the key. Enjoy being with your teammates, with your coaches. Spend so much time with them, practicing, going to games, preparing for the game, and find satisfaction also of becoming better at the sport that we all love. When you are able to have that joy for practicing, to work hard, noticing that you're getting better, you know, and have a healthy ambition. Like I said before, it's good to dream, but it's also important to be a bit realistic, I believe. Not everybody will turn into an NBA player, no? Not everybody will become a professional leader. But if you are able to keep the passion for basketball at your own respective level, I think that's very important. Just respect everybody else involved in the game. Teammates, coaches, other staff members of the club, or opponents, referees, everybody. Just play hard, give everything, but basically be a good person on and off the court. Don't forget, I think everybody who's in it, you'll be making some long-lasting relationships through basketball, and make some good friends along the road. And then the level that you end up playing, that depends on you, on your abilities, on your limits. That's fine, but it's all basketball, and just have to enjoy it.
Yeah, and thank you for coming and make time for this interview and all answers for my questions.
No problem. gladly, really. At any other moment, we can do this again. No worries, no problem. I'm happy to talk basketball always. And if anybody who's listening at least gets something useful or positive out of it, then that's already a win. That's already great.
Yeah, and this is really good for, first of all, me, and I think for listeners, because your knowledge and your experience are really great for us as a player, because we all want to play in NBA. We don't need to be talented or skilled or playing in a club, but all basketball lovers playing or coaching or scouting in NBA, and this is really great for us about information, how to play in NBA, how to be a scout. And thank you for all of this.
Yeah, no problem. Really, I think there's really a lot of levels, a lot of different leagues, countries, continents all over the world that basketball is being played. So it's not only the NBA. There's a lot of basketball that is just, it's great sport, like a lot of other sports as well, of course, but this is ours. So that's the one we talk about. Everybody has a level. Everybody might have some limitations. I, for sure, when I was a kid and when I was unrealistic, dreaming, sometimes I didn't realize my limits yet. were very a lot of them. Don't be afraid to work on your weaknesses as well, because sometimes people try to hide them. Once you get to a professional level, you do try to hide some of your weaknesses, of course. But as a young developing player, you have to work on them. If that means missing some, I don't know, just a simple thing, work your weak hand, you have to work on it. If that means missing some layups or turning the ball over, so you have to work on it.
Yeah, and thank you for last advice for young players. Again, thank you for all, and thank you for coming. And then hope to see you soon.
Yes, my pleasure. Hope to meet you in person as well someday.
Yeah, I hope so. And if I come to Barcelona, or if you come to Istanbul or Antalya, it's my pleasure to meet you in real.
The same here.
See you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
In this episode, we are with Nico Van Den Bogaerd. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy. See you in next episode. Bye bye.